Projectors are here to guide and not to respond. Projectors are projectors, not responders, not generators. I had something coming up that is a common theme, obviously, currently in my clients and all my spaces, in my one-on-ones, and that I also noticed with, among other mentors, which is the topic of boundaries. So instead of going on Insta stories, I thought I'm going to do a short live because I have a lot to say here about it, obviously. Hi, Neela. And so Instagram didn't allow me to create a title for this live stream. So if you're jumping on, I will talk about standards, zero fact standards, and bold boundaries. One of my most favorite topic. Hi, Theta. All my clients are here. Amazing. All the HD club, the stages in the house. How's everybody doing? I saw that around this time on a Saturday, everybody is hanging on their phones. So I'm like, okay, let's just hang out. I have a lot of liquids here, obviously doing that juice cleanse, and I feel great. I'm feeling so super great. And I want to talk about boundaries and standards. So Theta is in the stage, and I opened the group chat. We use Telegram, but it's the same for Voxer or WhatsApp when I use it. And I usually set certain standards and boundaries to communicate in a way that is highly efficient, very intentional, and right to the core and the point. It's such a projector-esque etiquette, and to be honest, it goes against all that is out there. You have to have chat support or Voxer support or whatever 9 to 5 Monday to Fridays, and that's generator hours. That is not working for projectors at all, non-sacrals, manifestors as well. And also, it does not work for generators because this is the program, the conditioned way of responding. You have to be available because people expect that, because some dude once said we work from 9 to 5. Yeah? So there is a common theme right now happening in my world that any clients that come to my spaces, any type, any space, whether it's the HD Club, the stage, my private coaching, or even just witnessing me as a 6-line, how I show up, how I don't show up, when I don't show up on time, that this gives you a different perspective on, oh wow, this is actually doable. I can do that. I'm allowed to show up differently in a way that feels correct for me. So I am modeling not the boundaries, the standards, the way to communicate that you should be doing, but hi Susanna. But I am modeling a way of correctness for me to give anyone in my spaces permission and empower them to follow strategy and authority and do what is correct for them. Hi, Sinan. Hello. So I want to ask the ones who will listen to my voice notes, how I opened the group chat, how did you feel? Because usually when I tell my clients, what I tell my clients most is, especially projectors, you have full permission to stop responding, stop explaining yourself. Let them feel your mutation, your power. Don't explain what you're doing, just do it. And let them wake up that you're suddenly not available anymore, that you changed your account to a private account, that you're not responding in DMs or chatting in DMs anymore. Like all these, that when we raise these standards, then what happens a lot is that my clients then feel like, okay, now things are changing and I'm communicating in a different way and I have to explain or warn them or kind of give them a notice. I'm like, stop that shit. We don't talk more than, let the aura do the talking. That's what I want to say. Let the aura do the talking. That is way more potent. And that's why I do not really talk about holding boundaries and teaching about it. I'm teaching a level of standard and energetic etiquette that is required. That is required when you take human design and your integration and living your design seriously. And interestingly, that seems to be a theme because I'm putting together something for a new product, a new offer, a new space, and I'm so excited. And I put in my signature courses. Everyone who is in the club, you can be excited because you will be you know it first. And 2 signature courses are the Provocateur and Bold Boundaries. And these 2 are my defined ego's essence. It's for all types, but in particular for projectors, because we have been conditioned most. We are just the 20%, and then there's the 70% of the sacrals, right? So if you take your human design integration and living your design correctly, seriously, let me know in the comments. It feels powerful, right? You feel you suddenly have a permission to live differently, differentiated. But what comes with this is that you trigger the fuck out of people. And there is something that suddenly there's resistance. People try to pull you down. They feel they don't support you. They actually try to negotiate with you. They project their shit onto you because you remind them of you have escaped a program, a pattern. You have deconditioned and are now stepping into your power, and they see them leaving a place in the masses, being a sheep, where they suddenly realize that they still are at. So you have risen to a different level, and they realize they are still at that level, and suddenly they go like, no, instead of doing their work, they try to pull you down. Yes? Say yes in the comments if that resonates. So the problem is that our mothers, usually parents, are so conditioned as well that they did not teach us correct, individualized for us ways to live our lives and communication. Hey, who was raised with non-emotional, intelligent communication? I don't. So 2 things that I learned with high-level coaches before or aside to my human design integration is emotional intelligence, high-level unemotional communication about a issue, a problem, a topic, but from leader to leader without emotions. Because when emotions are high, intelligence is low. And this is what a lot of people don't know. And so when you come into my world, it seems that I have high standards, I have high values, and I have a very unemotional, not judgmental way to deal with things. And this is nothing that you can learn or get taught. This is only something that you have to get modeled and experience. We cannot teach boundaries. This is just the mental approach because you understand, okay, next time when this happens, then I got to say this and this, and I don't allow this person to treat me like this anymore. Who of you have been there, right? When clients cross you, or when someone and clients cross your boundaries, then you feel like shit. And next time you set the intention, and you have this intention and the goal to not react in this way. But the problem is, if you're not mutated, if you're not integrating that in your cells on your cellular level. And this can only happen by being in an environment where you get this modeled. It will happen again. Because in your own aura, that might be okay. But when you're then as a projector, suddenly in the other aura connected with your audience or people in your DMs, those standards and boundaries, they collapse. Right? Unless you have someone who reminds you, who guides you, who models you a way where you suddenly say, oh, this is the normal. Actually, me playing small, me letting people walk over me lowering my prices to make the sale or discounting my offers or taking on unaligned clients, when you have someone who holds you through this, oh my God, can I really do this? Even saying no to a client who is unaligned, and then holding that space around money fear, or where's the next client coming in. When you have someone, and this always have been my mentors, and this is my energy now for all my clients, you do it. You do it, and then you do it again, and then you do it again. And then suddenly you raise your standards within your own communication and with your clients. So it has a ripple effect. And the reason why I come in here is, of course, this is way too much to put on stories, but it's really important to know what mentorship is about. It's nothing, not that you learn something, what I teach in programs, and I'm not teaching anymore. I'm so integrated in my 6 line that I model something, and then we apply it to you, to your situation, to your design, to your circumstances that you are, and there are different topics that come up for different clients, and depending about your conditioning. But this really got me, because I had a one-on-one client signing up, and I just said it right away: just stop doing it. Stop communicating, stop responding in your DMs, use different words, don't explain yourself. And suddenly there is it feels, I can really literally feel it, how much weight falls off of these women and men as well, of my clients, who would suddenly say, okay, you give me permission to do that. And I say, you don't need permission. It's just that you see me doing something, and then I normalize a way of treating each other, a level of respect. 6 lines and projectors, we require a lot of respect from people, to even that I turn my head and talk to you. And I have been cleaning out my audience and the way how I communicate, and pull back so much that there has to come a lot. I even got asked today if I hop on a Zoom call to talk about modalities to work together. And I'm like, no, of course not, unless you pay me. And this is not arrogance, even though a 6 line aloofness can come across, but I wanted to say to you that who defines sales calls or discovery calls? This is a standard that someone defines, and just because a lot of people are teaching it and doing it doesn't mean that it's correct for you and does it feels good to you. I don't say that you don't have to do it, but I just say it's not required. And especially for projectors, whenever we get on a call, we absorb the other and we guide the other, and then there has to be a compensation. So it is so important that you understand this, that a lot of untouched potential in your business is because you are operating and living life and doing business in a way that is a lower standard than you could operate, but you don't know about it because you're not in spaces, and get yourself into the spaces where it infuses your cells, and you see someone doing and see someone leading spaces like programs or classes or a Voxer chat that expands you, and you can calibrate to a higher standard. And this is nothing you can learn from this live stream. This is nothing I try to translate it with my transmitter and share something, and you go like, oh, okay. But the experience in it, and I see it every day with the message I get within the HD Club, which evolves into a space for all human design types to get expanded and learn from me by being behind the scenes and not in front of, like, behind the camera. You're here, and you hear me, like this morning, the 30-minute download the transmission about this current gate transit of full power skills, how to access your power skills, how to know about your skills, your genius, your gift that you have, and bring that into your business in a way that feels so liberating, so liberating. And only when we raise our standards, and be able to hold them, this is the problem, being able to hold them, we attract the clients who meet that. And I totally understand that everyone who's new to my world catapults into a different stratosphere. And when you are here, and I do not let you down, you bet not. Because I'm so not judgmental, that I tell my clients when something is off, but in a way that it's just information. I just see, I observe, I see what can be elevated, what can be more efficient, where your energy is off. And when you have higher standards, you release and unlock so much energy and attention because you do not respond. So many projectors are responding, and then the generators also feel obliged and pressure that you should be answering this email right away, that you should answer this message or give advice in the DMs and answer questions. No. Fact, no. The exhaustion that generators experience from responding to things that you do not want to respond to is tremendously, and that is actually costing you literally money, because it's your life force that you're giving away, and you do not regenerate, and you're not attracting the clients that you really want to respond to. It's all standards, it's all boundaries, and it's all an etiquette that I'm so passionate about to talk and to teach, but most importantly to model. And so if you have a mentor, you always model their standards. And so ask yourself, is that it? Is that it? To get to your next level, there must be also a different level of expansion that you can calibrate to, but the calibration is not happening on a mental level, it's only on a cellular level. And when someone is like, there's one thing that Ra said, is that human design is nothing to dabble around, it is radical. And while there are people who play around with it, really living it can feel lonely, because suddenly these people that wanting to pull you down fall away. Can be scary when suddenly you don't take on this client anymore because you realize that you're a projector and you take on their shit. But there's a lot of conditioning of, yeah, but I can help people, and I see their problem and I can solve their problem. But you're not a fixer unless you have guilt motivation. But then understanding it in combination with your usually conditioned ego, the people pleasing, the feeling of discomfort when you offend someone or you triggered someone because you are an open solar plexus and you take on their discomfort. Like, all this is what's happening in our electricity of the design. That's mutation. But who do you want to be mutated by and conditioned by? By people who have a lower and shitty standard, or by someone who raises your standard by just you being in the energy? And when you raise your standards and you operate finally correct, people will be triggered. Absolutely. And that's the reason why a lot of projectors are not correct projectors, because they cannot hold it. And I had a poll up yesterday on my stories about what scares you most when you are in a phase of transformation and you suddenly release all your clients or the offers are not aligned anymore. That's the work. The work gets to be get on the other side of that damn screen into spaces where you're on a cellular level, get empowered to be yourself. But who are you? That's the question. And how can you live that in the most powerful, unapologetic way? How to communicate this, how to bring that into your content, how to show up in that way on social media that is so detached, because I see a lot of confident women, but certainty and confidence is something different. Certainty is detachment and surrendering to strategy and authority and not getting into the mind. Confidence is, yeah, you can be confident, but if you're not certain in those moments where things don't seem to work, like there's a lot I have to say, and I will say more about this. I'm working on a new masterclass. I'm just putting these things together, and this is so important to get to your next level of evolution as integrity in your design as a projector, manifester, like your own personal evolution, and that impacts the business, because usually the standard that you set and how you operate and what you will give yourself permission to do or not, and the level of conditioning defines your glass ceiling. And there is no glass ceiling. There is no glass ceiling if you live your type correctly. So excited for it. And then you always know what your next move in business is. You will always know what next offer to come. You will always know where the next client, the next money, next month is coming from. And I will teach you exactly this, because this was it. This was it. Standard and boundaries was such an important part that got me to $500,000 to date, more than $500,000 to date, despite going through the hardest void, collapsing of everything that I have built, pivoting 180 in my business, starting from scratch in my design. And this is what so many of you are going through without guidance. And so I'm creating something to give you the guidance. And this is also what I share behind the scenes, what I share in the HD Club every day, which is the space for all types to start mentoring with me. So just as a reminder, the standards and the boundaries that you have right now, you got modeled by someone who is deeply conditioned. And if you want to live your type correctly, no matter which type you are, get into this space, mentorship by someone who has a higher energetic etiquette. This is required. You know why this is required? When in 2023, in less than 6 months, Pluto goes in Aquarius, a lot of things will collapse. And the ones who are able to lead themselves in their design, in their authority, are in their authority and not in the mind. When you're in your mind, you're not in your authority. The mind is an awareness center, but it is not the authority and to make decisions. And the ones who are not understanding to hold the energy when things around collapse and reform and and are on the right fractal, and to open the doors to your right fractal with, and it includes standards and boundaries and communication and all this. When the shit goes down in March, it is important to be in your power and be in your authority, because the realities will collapse. It will be wild. It will be wild. And so knowing what is going on and why it's going on and how to lead and not react. And I'm now at a point that whatever goes on in my external field, whether it's in the micro of a client messaged me and is freaking out and is in fear and is whatever is going through, I'm not in a space where I don't respond right away. When my spleen says, now I'm ready to coach, I coach. But in these micro moments, no one else dictates and defines my authority. And when I know it's correct to respond, to lead, to coach, to guide. As in, clear example yesterday that blew the projectors' minds who heard me saying this. I wanted to open the projector chat yesterday, but yesterday was the second line day after the first line day where I taught the master class. And I knew I'm not in the space and the capacity in this correct energy to open the chat. And so I didn't do it. Even though I said I would do it. If I were feeling guilt, I would be in the wrong motivation. If I were feeling a should, my sacral would push through, my undefined sacral. If I felt guilty and my ego would not be in the power. And it is about owning and understanding how your energy works best so that I can condition and mutate my clients in the best way. This is a big, big responsibility that I have, that I operate correctly. My energy mutates people just by being my energy. And the more I live that, I'm so astounded and so fucking proud and so excited to see that without me doing anything but being correct, the feedback I give, the feedback I give is I receive from the HD club, for example. What happens in the lives and in the businesses of these members is amazing, and this is mutation. So Theta says, I was eager for your update, but I totally trust you, so I knew you would post when ready. I'm not ready, I'm correct. We have to distinguish these two words. Definitely, because there is nothing like being ready. It is only following strategy and authority. So the energy update that I gave today in the HD Club was very powerful, very powerful. And this is nothing that can come through in a second line day. It was third line day, and third line day is today. So it is, now I'm experience even more the impact, the energy, the more clean and the more correct I operate, the more clear I can see. There is no, and standards and boundaries, when you get onto the level where you actually meant to operate, you finally can fucking see and guide correctly as a projector. You finally respond to the right things as a sacral. You are not overly in the override of your sacral, responding. You can slow down because you get yourself on a level that you always knew you meant to be up here, not down there. And I just take you, boop, just by being in my world, you go like, okay, I set you here on first class. You're not meant to fly coach. Hello, Luz. Luz, I'm celebrating you. You're the freshest member in the stage. Welcome to the stage. She just joined today. So my doors are always open. I don't pressure you into my spaces. But the doors are open until I close. My spleen says no. That's it. But I don't do pressure marketing like everyone else. So, but now the spots are taken. So I know I can only guide as many as I'm meant to guide. Because all that I want to do in all my spaces, I want to guide. I want to mentor. So today, as I got the response of underneath my download from this morning, it's so clear that the HD Club needs even more expansion, so that I not just have the things that I do right now, but there are no more things. The library is coming, the resource library is coming, and I will also create an additional opportunity to get even more coaching and mentoring and guidance and answers from me. And I'm so excited. It comes all next week. I'm pushing through, I'm working, I'm so focused because I know this is necessary, it's needed. Because the first class was the first song that played in the radio in my new Mini. Yay! Congratulations to your new Mini. Super happy for it. So, and then you go elite, Constanza, right? Now you have a new Mini, now you're elite. So elite is the 6-month mentorship for all types in my world. Just if you don't know what elite is the program. It will it will receive a new name, but elite is the energy behind it. Okay, so I feel complete the message is clear. I will save this on the feed, definitely, standards and boundaries, because that is what so many of you require. This is it, because we have not been we have not been educated in that way, not from our parents, not at school, and usually not the mentors that you see out there. And Mountain View, as a sixth line, it is a lot about morals, a lot about etiquette, and I love to talk about this and embody it and role model that. So have a beautiful rest of your Saturday, wherever you are. I'm very inspired now talking about these topics. If you have any interest, questions, requests to mentor with me, to get mentored by me, then just send me a message. I have different options and I can tell you about these things. Or you just go to the link in my bio and you see them there. Not all of them, but most of it. More confirmation I'm in the correct space. Mwah. Yeah, you're an elite, Zined. Absolutely. Okay, have a great day, and I talk to you soon.